Fox 4 Morning News.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on Fox 4 Morning News. I'm John Barron. And of course, we've always got to take a look outside and see how our weekend is going to be set up for that. We sent it over there to Lauren Petrelli, who's joining us over there in the Fox 4 Weather Center. And Lauren, it looks like we're taking a look outside at some fog.
Yeah, we have a little fog this morning. Nothing nearly as dense or as widespread as what we were dealing with yesterday. But still, inland areas such as Clewiston, Moorhaven, looking at 0 miles of visibility, 1 for Moorhaven. Perfect 10s as you get through Lee County, even portions of Charlotte County, but Port Charlotte down to 8 miles of visibility. You also have Naples down to less than 2 miles of visibility. At least on live radar, we are sweeping across nice and clear. Also very similar to yesterday. You see these rings right here. This is not any rain that is being picked up on our radar. These are roost rings, so we're picking up birds right now on radar. So as you head out the door, do take it nice and easy if you live in one of those foggy areas, but at least no rain to slow you down. Temperatures right now are comfortable. 66 in Palmdale, 71 Fort Myers, the same Bonita Springs, 71 as well over in Naples. And hour by hour as we head into the afternoon, we're going to see a beautiful mix of sun and clouds. It'll be warm as well with highs maxing out in the low 80s. But we have a cold front that's going to stall right over us. That's later on this afternoon. What that will do for our forecast for your next work week, we'll talk more about that ahead.
Lauren, thank you for that. Well, this morning, DeSoto County deputies continue to investigate a homicide that happened on Southwest Charlotte Street. Now, deputies say that they received a call saying someone was shot yesterday just before 5 a.m. They say one man died at the scene shortly after they arrived. That's when a woman who was also shot came running from a neighboring home asking for help. The SWAT team eventually went inside of the home and found the alleged suspect. They say the person died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The department does say that this is an ongoing investigation, and you can count on Fox 4 to keep you updated. Well, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement needs your help this morning to find a missing child. They say they're looking for Journey Belcher Brinson, and she was last seen on East 29th Avenue in Tampa. This is a photo right here of her. You can see that on your screen. Now, she is 12 years old and has black hair and has brown eyes. Now, she is 5'4" and weighs about 160 pounds. If you can find any information about this case, you are asked to call FDLE or the Tampa Department of Police. And Lee Trans says that we'll actually start reintroducing all fixed bus services today. Now, Lee Tran has had modified services since Hurricane Ian made landfall. They also stopped collecting bus fare before the storm, but that will also resume today. Many of those buses have been used for emergency transportation throughout Southwest Florida since the storm. You actually head over to our website at fox4now.com.
Also continuing with our hurricane recovery, the Florida Department of Emergency Management will start cleaning debris from the waterways in Collier County starting tomorrow. It comes about 6 weeks after Hurricane Ian hit Southwest Florida. The department says they're working as quickly and as safely as they possibly can. Also, the iconic swing bar at Yucatan Beach Stand, that's on Fort Myers Beach, will be back open starting tomorrow. Owners were busy repairing the place, putting a new bar top on Friday. People can go and enjoy the full bar, some food. That's from 11 to 5. Plus, they'll have live music starting at 2. It'll be open every day except for Sunday.
Well, Lee County leaders have approved the county's first food truck park. Now, that park is actually going to be set to open in 2023, and food truck owners only have about 2 weeks left to apply. Now, the owners of Rooftop at Riverside are managing the applications. They say so far 20 trucks have already applied for the 7 planned food truck spots. You actually head over to our website to find that full link. And here's a look at today at the Artemis rocket, which is actually holding up from Cape Canaveral. Now, this unmanned flight, Artemis 1, is planned to orbit the moon and will be the first space flight of the NASA's Artemis program. A 2-hour launch window is still set for Wednesday, November 16th. And Lee County is celebrating Veterans Day with its 24th annual Midpoint Madness Veterans Day 5K.
This is always so much fun. So the Midpoint Bridge was closed from 6 to 9 on Friday night. In years past, some have run it, they've walked it in full uniform, sometimes carrying American flags. The Fort Myers YMCA, which hosts the event, says it typically draws in about 500 runners for such a great cause.
To serve the community, and this is one of the ways that we serve the community, and to help further serve our community with all the proceeds going to our scholarships.
And the scholarships that she just mentioned are for children, families, and seniors. It will also help expand YMCA services.
Well, over the past 20 years, Wheels of Success has given away 1,500 used cars to families in need across Tampa Bay. But this week, the nonprofit organization really wanted to shine a light on their Vehicles for Veterans program. Our sister station in Tampa has the story.
Well, starting up this 2008 Honda Accord is the sweetest sound that Brad Houston has heard in a long time. He says receiving this car is the best Veterans Day gift he could ask for. Brad Houston served in the U.S. military from 2008 to 2011. He was a hero in Iraq, but when he returned home to Tampa, he found himself struggling just to get by.
Didn't have a place to stay, trying to do school, living out of my car, and that's when the car broke down, and it just made things so difficult.
After giving so much to his country, Brad needed help in return. Susan Jacobs in Wheels of Success answered the call.
My new car.
Susan, being Veterans Day week, does it make it that much more special to give a car to a veteran who could really, really benefit?
Absolutely, especially somebody who served actually in a war, a war veteran coming back with lots of challenges.
Been a little while since I had my own vehicle, so this is definitely a surprise, definitely a long time coming, and very grateful.
Everybody needs a car, that's not it, but this is a car to change your life, to get you further down the road where you need to be.
Brad has been able to secure a job and find a place to live on his own, but this car will be the final step to reaching his ultimate goal of furthering his education.
I've been wanting to go to school, get back in school for a while now, because I got the GI Bill. I got that under my belt too. I can go to get any education I want. And if I choose to do that, this car will enable me to get to that. I didn't have that before I got this car. This is kind of sentimental. I won't forget this.
Brad, this car is well-deserved. You fought for our country. You're an honorable veteran, and I'm so glad to be part of this moment for you. Thanks again, and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And on this Veterans Day weekend as well, 3 homeless veterans now have a home thanks to the generosity of Collier County Community Foundation. Now, the foundation donated nearly $250,000 to the Wounded Warriors of Collier County to help purchase a house last year. Now, 3 veterans who were once homeless now have a place to live. All 3 share household duties and each pay 30% of their minimal income, which covers rent and utilities. Well, Veterans Day also marked the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Now, the memorial has been there for has seen more than 5 million visitors each year. Etched in stone are the names of more than 58,000 people who have died or are missing in action. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin also took part in this, sharing some of their stories. And in Baltimore, there's a nonprofit using veterans in recovery to train service dogs for wounded warriors. Abby Isaac shows us actually how the program is helping those veterans find a furry companion.
Sit. Good boy. Yes.
It's an unusual place to train dogs.
We have here with us Keith and Mr. Warren.
But in this Baltimore City courtroom, it's serving a deeper purpose.
It is a wonderful thing to watch. I think it's therapeutic for the veterans.
Warrior Canine Connection enlists recovering veterans to train service dogs for wounded warriors, partnering with programs like the Baltimore City Veterans Treatment Court.
Yes.
Judge Hallie Weinstein, a veteran herself, created VTC in 2015 as a court-supervised, voluntary treatment-based program for veterans charged with misdemeanors.
The idea is that although you are holding the person responsible for their criminal behavior, you're also providing and coordinating wraparound services to help them address their substance use disorder or mental health diagnosis, housing issues, employment issues.
Michael Whitson's been in the program for about 6 months. When he learned dog training was an option for the community service requirement, he jumped at the chance. He worked with canines during his time in the Army.
I basically was a chew toy. I put on the bite suit and let them work out their aggression on me. So, yeah, in the military, I had the ability to help train dogs that go after the bad guys. And then for the Warrior Canine Connection, I have the ability to help train dogs to help the good guys.
Once a month, the vets work with the dogs and WCC trainers to reinforce basic commands and develop new skills.
We're going to practice sit, down, stay, and then we're going to back up, see where the dog's successful.
Not only are they helping train the dogs, but they're doing something for themselves, too. The training happens right before they go before the judge for a status hearing.
Coming into the courtroom can be anxiety-producing to come into a courtroom. But when they're working with the dogs, they don't have any anxiety. They're enjoying what they're doing. They feel that they're doing something purposeful.
VTC also partners with groups that help veterans get the skills and services needed to re-enter civilian life, and each participant is matched with a veteran mentor for additional support.
Well, First Lady Jill Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris attended a ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. The tomb was dedicated 101 years ago on November 11th, 1921. A Presidential Armed Forces full honor wreath-laying ceremony was held. And we've all debated over which profile picture actually fits us best on social media, but having one that you actually feel good about is an important part of actually looking for a new job. But that's a challenge for many service members leaving the military, and Chris Conti has the story.
Move this way just a tiny bit.
There is something profoundly intimate.
Can you pull your shirt down on, yeah.
About a portrait.
Let's try hands in front.
Not just a snapshot in time.
Do you, A, like to smile?
I do. But a way to see ourselves through the eyes of others.
I like your pose, I like your shoulders. I'm gonna have you turn your nose so the nose is facing the lens.
Like the eyes of photographer Vicki Gray.
I want their eyes to connect with the camera. I want them to connect. I want them to engage with me.
Chris Fowler has had plenty of pictures of himself taken before.
A little bit different, a little bit the same.
Let's try this one. Let's get started with that one.
This, though, will be the 53-year-old's first time being photographed since retiring from the Navy.
See if I remember what a double Windsor looks like.
His uniform traded in for a suit.
It's a chance at a new beginning. And how often do people get that?
Chris dropped out of college in 1995 and never looked back. Standing up for his country was his calling.
I'm retiring.
You're retiring.
Which is such a weird thing to say.
So let's have a big smile, because that's a good thing. All right.
Standing here, though, Chris Fowler doesn't know what the future holds. It's also the first time in 3 decades he'll be applying for a job.
What am I going to be when I grow up? I don't know.
Which is where this photography session and Vicki Gray come in.
This is like the outward symbol of this transition that they're going through.
Vicki is part of a national network of volunteer photographers called Portraits for Patriots.
It's my goal to give them a flattering portrait, and I want them walking out of here thinking, so this is me, this is really me, this is what people see.
Each year they take thousands of headshots for service members transitioning out of the military, amounting to well over $1 million worth of studio time and photographs.
I'm currently a nuclear disablement team member.
And people like Gavin Adelot do not pay a cent. Gavin is one of an estimated 200,000 service members who leave the military each year. The last time he applied for a job was to be a lifeguard as a teenager.
And so this is the first time since college you've had to look for a job. Yeah. So
that's a big deal.
It is.
The 31-year-old also had his headshot taken by Vicki Gray.
Picture's worth 1,000 words, so it's a part in the story, so.
He's using that picture for LinkedIn, resumes, and cover letters. So far, it's already helped him land a few job interviews.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. You're jumping into the unknown a little bit, but as long as you put one foot in front of the other, similar to doing anything tough in the military, and Portraits for Patriots is just another step to help you in that direction.
Which brings us back to Chris Fowler.
I think that's probably one of my favorites.
By the end of his time with Vicki, the two had landed on a final headshot, something for Chris to use as he starts applying for jobs.
Thank you so much. Yay.
An uncertain future now filled with optimism.
It's a me I didn't know was there. And it's a me I look forward to getting to know a little bit better.
I want to see that smile.
And a chance to say thank you for your service with the simple snap of a shutter.
So I'm feeling a lot more confident in my transition.
It's been a lot of fun.
I couldn't be more grateful.
In Baltimore, Maryland, I'm Chris Conti.
Well, Haven of Hope in Fort Myers is hosting a virtual event to raise awareness about orphans today. Now, the global nonprofit says that today is known as Orphan Sunday, and they believe the event will bring together more than 100 nations across the world. They are focused on getting many of the orphans around the world adopted. Now, the event starts at 6 p.m., and you can actually head over to our website for that Zoom link. And there will be a benefit concert in Bonita Springs today for families impacted by Hurricane Ian. The humanitarian music festival will actually take place at Riverside Park in Bonita Springs from 2 to 7 p.m. General admission for the family-friendly event is by donation and will include live music, food trucks, vendors, auctions, raffles, and activities for all. And of course, for you guys to get out there and enjoy some of those activities today, we need to take a look at exactly how your weekend is going to line up. As you guys are waking up on this Sunday, we appreciate you so much for sticking with us here on Fox 4 Morning News. But Lauren Petrelli joining us now to give us a better look at what we're looking outside as we all start to wake up on this fine Sunday morning.
Yeah, John, anyone who's setting up maybe for that event over in Bonita Springs, dealing with some light haze, even taking a look outside this morning. This is the Bayfront Inn down in Naples. A little hazy out there. So this camera looks inland. It shows you the sunrise and also those inland conditions, but that light fog on the water is something you might be able to see near the Gulf, especially closer to shore. I do want to go through those visibility numbers with you, depending on what you have to do this morning. Some areas, whatever you're doing, you might have to take it a little bit easier than others with that commute. Right now in Arcadia, for example, a perfect 10, but down to 8 miles of visibility over in Port Charlotte. It gets even worse the further inland you do head, down to 1 mile of visibility Clewiston, Moorhaven, 4 over in Palmdale, down to less than 2 miles of visibility over in Fort Myers, 1 Cape Coral, a little bit better down in Bonita Springs, 4, but all the way down to Marco Island, you're looking at 0 miles of visibility. At least all of us are waking up nice and dry. We're not tracking anything on live radar, and as we head through the rest of today, we look mainly dry through the afternoon. Right around 2 o'clock, some of our northern counties could see a light shower or 2, and then that continues into the evening hours, especially for our inland areas closer to Lake Okeechobee. This is due to an incoming cold front bringing us a little uptick in our moisture. Then we'll start off your Monday morning nice and dry. Fog once again could be a possibility, not too widespread, just patchy fog, and we're looking pretty dry as we head through your Monday afternoon, your evening, and kicking off your Tuesday morning commute nice and dry as well. So nothing to slow you down as we kick off the start of your work week. Temperatures right now are pretty comfortable, mid 60s for our inland areas. That feels pretty good. 66 right now in Palmdale, 65 over in Arcadia, 68 over in Punta Gorda, 71, good morning to you, over in Fort Myers, and 71 as well over in Naples. We have calm winds coming out of the south. Right now the highest registered is going to be over in Fort Myers, up to 3 miles per hour. Average high this time of the year is 82 degrees, thanks to just a tad bit of dry air under a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. Our highs will max out where they should be this time of the year, in the low 80s. Overnight lows will be a little bit warmer, though. Those are going to be in the upper 60s, near 70 degrees. If you did have any plans to get out on the water, we have no warnings. The past couple of days, we did have a high rip current risk that was dropped last night. Winds coming out of the northwest today up to 10 knots, seas 2 feet or less, and a moderate chop on your inland waters. Now we're tracking this one cold front right now, not a big rainmaker. Doesn't really bring us a big cool down. We have another one coming through your mid-work week, and then it looks like we have another dip in the jet stream by next weekend. But we have high pressure in place, and it doesn't look like we get a nice shot of cool, dry air even as we inch closer to your Thanksgiving. But at least this mid-work week front, it's going to lower those dew points, so at least the humidity will be very comfortable as we head through the next several days. Speaking of that, let's take a quick look at your 7-day forecast for today. Highs maxing out in the low 80s. Overnight lows going to be in the upper 60s. Plenty of sunshine as we head through the first half of your work week. On Wednesday, we are tracking that next cold front. Could bring us a spotty shower, maybe a little bit more cloud coverage, but other than that, we're seeing plenty of sunshine.
Lauren, thank you so much for that. Right now, we're taking a look outside. You can see right here a gorgeous setting right now as we're taking a look outside into Cape Coral and just across the way from Fort Myers as well. You can see some boats out there on the waterway, blue sky, blue water, and just a little bit of cloud coverage out there on the horizon. Thank you so much for watching Fox 4 Morning News. We'll be right back after this.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic check, can you hear me now? I hear plus and minus too. I hear myself. Okay, you're gonna have to cue me because it's gonna be like that plus and minus stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
My AirPods are dead.
So
it's gonna be an issue because my AirPods are dead.
Oh shit.
Hey, what did he say to you?
I don't know. I wasn't realized. I think he said he's gonna cross back in and